Gina, I don't know how you have enough time to get away from all that stuff you have going on in beautiful Galveston to help us ladies live fuller, more confident, more exciting lives. You've got a big event that you're planning for.
We have a huge event, and
I
thank you so
know.
much for this opportunity. We have lots of huge events, but this one's very special. The 15th, can you believe it? 15th anniversary of the Celebrating Women, Mind, Body, and Spirit Conference.
Have you been there for since the beginning?
I have
All right.
actually was my idea to do it because of the wonderful connections throughout the Chamber of Commerce at the time. Dr. Ben Raymer was president of UTMB, and so he or in the chair of our chamber. And so we just thought of a wonderful partnership and where we could really celebrate women, celebrate our members, celebrate women's issues, and no better partnership than with UTMB at the time. And so that we could talk about all the phenomenal things that were going on out there regarding breast cancer and health and all those things. And he gave me the thumbs up and said, let's get started. And we did. And I've been here 20 years, almost
Wow.
20 years in October. And this is the 15th year, but it literally just started with some luncheons with some women and just sharing. And it just continued to grow and grow and grow. And now we're expecting over 1,100 women this year.
You know, it's interesting, Gina. I spoke with some lady police officers yesterday, the Tomball Police Department, and we were talking about, and many of them have been there a long time. You know, I've been at Sunny for 32 years. We were talking about how you have survived at one place,
Yes.
and also what have you learned along your journey? Because if you're bouncing around maybe 5 years here, 5 years there, 2 years there, it's a different process. When you've been at a place for a long time, you've got to recreate you a lot. And in order to keep yourself passionate and, going to work every day and it's the same thing. What have you learned about these women conferences over time? What women are looking for now, how it's evolved?
First of all, I can't believe that you've been there 32
32
years.
years.
Well
Yeah.
done, friend.
Yeah.
You do it because you're passionate about it.
Right.
32
Right.
years of loving what you do. 32 years of knowing that you're making a difference and that lives are being changed and you're putting out a message that's important to people. And that's exactly what I do. The day that I wouldn't enjoy it, the day that we wouldn't be able to do things like this is the day I would have moved on. And we're not there. I have a
Yeah.
board and a community that embraces this Chamber of Commerce and the fact that we think out of the box. We actually have committees that just do nothing but just think out of the box. What do we need? I think it requires a lot of empathy and a lot of listening. I
Yeah.
have lots of great ideas, lots of things I'm passionate about, but I'm excited about my team and my board that we listen and we identify needs. That's how human trafficking came about, the Unbound, when we had them that year. They
Right.
came, dark subject. I mean, we always leave some lighthearted time and dancing and things that are good for our soul and our mind. That was a dark subject, but important in our region to understand what was going
Absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
And that was through listening, because some people said, no, it's too dark, let's do that. But then other people now have a better knowledge of what to look for, and they're involved now and they're making a difference in that. Same with after COVID. And last year, bringing Mariel Hemingway in and talking about mental health and suicide prevention and things that we could look forward or look and notice within our friends, within our kids, our spouse, whatever it is. And so, yes, those are deep subjects, but they're subjects that are important to the people
Yeah.
in our region,
Today.
in our
S-
state
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And some of them are just fun and funny, although we are bringing laughter this year, too. We have
Now,
a
don't give it away yet, because I
I
want to.
won't.
I want
Okay,
to ask
I
you
won't.
before
I won't. I
before we
won't.
hear about your speaker this year.
Yes, yes, yes.
What is the process that you guys go through to pick a speaker? I always love to hear this. I do a lot for the Star of Hope, and they'll bring an
Oh,
incredible artist to their banquet. And I'm like, how did you guys pick that one? Because every year it seems to get better and better. So what's the process you go through when you're thinking of your keynote speaker?
we're always thinking.
Right.
I mean, there's not, the staff is always thinking, we're reeling around from every year who's going to be next. But really, the process is, of course, the staff, and we have a phenomenal committee, a women's conference committee.
Mhm.
Some women that have been with us all 15 years of this
Wow.
glorious journey. And then we always have new and, people moving into Galveston, new members. We have a young professionals group. And so they're like, we want to be a part of it. We want to do this. And so it's conversations. It's give us your wish list. Give us if you could have anybody. So we think really big, and then we realize we can't afford those people sometimes. Sometimes we can get some help with the big, but the wish list is big and grand and beautiful and wonderful. And we strive to continue to think that big, like nothing's too big. But then we start getting more sensible about what we've got. And then we end up with an equally beautiful list. And then from there, though, we really partner that with what's the hottest issue? What do we need? What are you hearing? What's your family saying? What are your groups of ladies saying? What's your organization needing? And then we kind of bring that together, and we have a list typically of 3 to 5. And then that goes into, are they available? Do we have, and
Right.
so we have to go to the hotels, and we book years in advance because thank goodness we're booked. We're booked in Galveston, you've got,
Yeah,
and so
that's
we've
great
got to make
news.
sure that there's availability there at the Moody Gardens Conference Center. And then we have to call the booking agents and see if the people that we've got on our list are available. And when that comes together, we just feel like it was all meant to be. So
That is
whichever one, so it is a process though, but I'm always thinking, I mean, we have someone in mind that we won't be talking about, but for next year and even beyond. And so we're just always working ahead.
now
And then
this year,
sometimes life stops, and
right.
sometimes something becomes our focus and a need, and we can go back, if we haven't already made those commitments, and rethink that list.
We
It's
had 2 years of this pandemic. So you don't want a dark subject this year. You're going to have joy. You're going to have fun stories. Very well-known lady, a wife,
yes,
a mom, a
yes,
first daughter. Tell us about
yes.
your
We
guest
had her
this year.
mother.
Yes, you did.
Yes. Oh, Jenna Bushhager. We just the excitement. We met yesterday. We had a little planning committee, and everyone's so excited for her to be in this room. And it's the superpower sisterhood, the whole theme around her children's book. And so we're really excited. People are sending me questions. It was really, I loved it when we said, do you want us to send us some questions to ask you on? She said, it's open. I'm open. I want to hear from your women. I want them to tell me what they want to hear. And so we're gathering questions and everything. We're just going to have a fireside chat. She loves that. She loves to get to know her audience. And the great thing about this conference is we don't do breakout sessions. I mean, we dance, we work out, we go and shop in the vendor areas and stuff like that. But the energy, we stay in that same room, and the energy just builds and builds and builds. And I'm telling you, this region, this state, really, we've got people coming from all over the state to see her. And so the excitement is just building, and we can't wait
That's
to have her
wonderful.
here.
And it's a one day, all
One
day
day.
event.
7:30 to 5, and it's packed filled with we've got speakers. But one thing that's important to us is the shopping areas and the vendors, because we have, as a chamber of commerce, I mean, our core mission is to promote and advocate for business.
Right.
And coming out of COVID, it's more important than ever. And so the ability for our ladies to go and meet wonderful women and men, businesses. We've got writers there, authors there, signing books, talking to people about maybe they had a little spark or a little dream to write. How do you get started through that process? So there's lots of conversations, lots of shopping. We work out. Our breaks are filled with beautiful opportunities and training. Like if I'm here at my desk all day, what can I do to stay physically fit? So we've got women that'll come up and say, okay, get behind your chair, behind your desk, and do these lifts or take some walks. And so wherever you are in life, they've got new and exciting things to get us through the day. Whether we're able to go out, and I don't have time for a fitness center. Do you get to go to a fitness center?
I wake up 30 minutes earlier than I normally do just to go work
And
out in the
go.
field.
See, I
Yeah.
need to
I
do
don't
that,
have
but I
time to
can
go to a fitness
walk.
center.
I know, but I could walk. I have a farm. I
You
get
could
to
do
go at it.
push-ups.
I
Do push-ups in your living room,
Exactly. Exactly. And so we
right?
just talk about that and we encourage people that no matter where you are in life, I just turned 60 this year, no matter where you are, you can still dream, you can still work out, you can still be
Sure.
fit, you can do these things. And so it is just so much fun. And what I tell people, and we've been producing this for 15 years, I always walk out better. Although it is an event and it's important for this chamber and I'm working and I'm doing something, there is always someone, something, some word that I needed, that spark.
Yes.
There's always a story after all the stories there. There's always someone who's discovered through education through UTMB about the importance of a colonoscopy or just our heart or nutrition or things like that that will come up and said, I was at the conference and I'd never thought about doing this or whatever that was. And I think it just might have saved my life.
That's
Or the
amazing.
Mariel Hemingway stories of suicide and the ladies that were able to go back there and the ladies that she took time to talk to that might have lost a son or a daughter or may have even, it's
Oh,
horrific to think about, but even one that actually had a suicide letter in her purse and just decided, I'm going to go to this conference. I need to go, and felt this urge and just cried and said, it was for me. Everything you said was for me. I needed that. And so it's laughter, it's fun, but it's making a difference in people's lives. And we don't take that lightly. The speakers that we have, we don't take any of the subject matters lightly, but we all know that laughter is good for the soul. We have Leanne Lord coming in. She's our second keynote speaker. She's from Jamaica. We had the great day of just researching comedians, and she had us crying. We were laughing so hard,
that's
and we
so
said,
good.
she's our girl. She is it, and she is so funny. And she just talks about everyday stuff. Our parents moving in with us, everyday things that are sad and it's part of life. And now we're the caretakers, but she brings some humor into it. And we have laughed until we cried. So she was our person and she loved that when we told her we've spent the whole day watching your videos. And
That's
so,
excellent.
and laughter is it's good for our soul. We don't do it enough. We're so busy with things and our phones and this and that. And it's proven that it's just good for our soul. So we're going to laugh. We're going to hear from Jenna Bushhager, and that's just going to be so great and so intimate. You're in a room that is intimate, although large, the way that we situated everything around the stage. People are going to be able to get their pictures with her, sponsors and VIPs that come in. And it's just, it's so great. I mean, I get excited talking about it, and I've been doing it for 15 years. I'm excited to know that lives are going to be changed, or that there's an inspiration that's going to come out of it, and someone's going to go, I'm going to do this now. You inspired me to do this. And so it's a great day. Women need to.
I encourage our listeners to go to our contest page, because we will have tickets to give away there as well. Before I get into, and I don't want to lose my train of thought.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm going to think a little bit bigger for you now that you're helping out us ladies.
Yes.
Next time when you can carve out a little extra time, you need to do something for teenage girls.
Yes.
That's what you need, a day for teenage girls.
Absolutely.
Okay. Something to think about.
Because I'm going to tell you, this conference, there are lovely people that sponsor some young ladies. I'm heavily involved with Lemonade Day, Galveston County and all that, and they're sponsors.
Excellent.
But in saying that, you are so right and so correct that they need this.
Oh, in a day of social media. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Yes.
They need to learn the tools to not cave into peer pressure. And when they're around like-minded people, there's just not enough events for girls to go to where they can kind of get empowered like us ladies.
Yes. And I know, I have these dreams and I have these desires, and I know that we as women have to support each other.
Right.
We say this every year. First of all, we need to support each other. We need to lift each other up. We need each other. We don't need to be competing. with each other. I do well just to stay on my own lane and my own road and take care of my people, my family, my friends, and things like that. We say that every year. Women lift each other up, support each other, but our teenagers, a lot of them are lost.
Yeah.
You know, I have a niece. I'm in the schools. I see the desperation and go into those meetings and know that these kids are confused and getting them together. I love that you said that.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah. It's
inspired me.
something
You've
to think
inspired
about.
me because they need in there.
Yeah.
They
Oh, and
need
they
each
would
other. They
love,
need and
you'd
to
be like their young, beautiful mom helping them out, and you'd be the lady.
oh, thank
So
you. You got to help me. Now that you
let
put
me
it
know.
out there,
Seriously, let me know.
you've got to help me. But I think that we can get some people that they follow and love and admire, but they need to be in a room and they need to know what that feels like. I'm energized by my people.
Mm-hmm.
I need
Mm-hmm.
them,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and they need each other. And unfortunately they don't have that really.
I got asked to go to and speak before these lady police officers, and there were some
Uh,
guys in the room too, because they couldn't do it without the guys. And after they asked me questions, one of the audience members said, Dana, why don't you ask the police officers why these ladies
yes.
became police officers? I was just like, because I'm thinking because they're tough. Like I never even
Yeah.
thought to ask them. You know
Yes.
what it was? They they didn't want any comfort, any comfort zones. They wanted to break out of their comfort
Yes.
zone that us women tend to find ourselves in. And
Yes.
they wanted to serve, not just like they wanted to intensely serve the community, like powerfully serve the community,
Yes.
and not be constrained by maybe what a woman should do. They are, and these are feminine, beautiful, strong
Absolutely.
women who became police officers. And I was like, that is so cool. Totally brave, courageous. And even though someone had gone,
Absolutely.
you can't do that, they said, yes, I can. And they did.
Yes. They absolutely can. We
Right.
actually have at the conference our sheriffs, the Galveston County sheriffs, and they send their women.
That's awesome.
And they just we were just talking about this the other day about how we have to honor them at they've been with us every year. And they're always saying it just fills them too. And some of them I was like, how are you scared? Or you do that? No, they are trained to do it. They
They
have the
are.
same
They are.
passion that
One
you
of them,
have and doing what you do and what I do. I mean, I just think you're just kind of born with it. My father died when I was two. I raised three kids. I went, I trained, I became that my superpower is being able to be on the streets of Galveston, Texas, and make sure that my community and my school. So that's what we're hoping to
yes.
do. So all of the messaging throughout is going to be what's your superpower and how do you use it? How do you use that superpower? But it could be motherhood. It could be I'm the stay-at-home mom, or I have the ability to change life where I'm at, to
Yeah.
be in the schools and to create a conference for teenagers. You know, maybe that's my superpower. But that's what was really important to us, that it's beyond the looks, your body, your what you wear, how much money you have. Everyone has some sort of superpower that's needed in this world. And we want to celebrate wherever you are and to let women know that you have that superpower that is uniquely yours. Only you can use it. You know, I can't, I have some superpowers, you have superpowers,
Right.
but there are so many others that have super powerful things that we can't do. And that's the whole message, is no matter where you are, no matter how bad it looks right now or how great, you could be doing real great, not be using a superpower that could help so many because you're so consumed with maybe the other kind of superpowers that you have. So
You know,
that's what I have in my heart, is celebrating that, having people share those things, that it's so much beyond the phone. You know, these phones, we can create all kinds of things. Everything can be perfect.
yeah.
You
And
know,
fake.
our faces,
And fake.
fake.
Yeah. You know, I'm envisioning like we're in this body, right? And if
Yes.
we unzipped it and took a step out and we were
Yes.
really ourselves, think about how much happier, true joy, less competitiveness, jealousy, unforgiveness, all the things that we struggle with, guilt, shame. You just step out of that facade and become the real you. We would have so much fun with each other.
Oh, it changed the world.
It
It's a game
would.
changer.
It would.
And I get so overwhelmed with it because I want to go out. I want to step out. I want to do those things. I want the world to be better. I want at least Texas, it's like where but you
At
can't get
least
that big.
Galveston.
Just
Let's
got,
do
but then,
Galveston.
but what I do is I have to hone it in, which all of us have to do.
Yeah.
And we can make a difference in wherever we are. Can we change everything? Can we change all the hate? Can we change the things that we don't like or we're seeing everywhere? No, but we can make a difference in the world where we are. And so if I can make a difference in Galveston and reach out into this region, and our chamber can be a voice, and we can go out and identify needs, um, it continues to grow. That love and that compassion continues to grow. And that's our superpower. Each one of us have it. When you read books, lean in, various books about that, women, that's our greatest enemy, is possibly other women, women that want, their coworkers or even their friends to possibly fail. And rather a man get it than maybe another woman. And we love our men. I'm surrounded by great ones that sit on our board that lead, but we have a beautiful blend of each other supporting each other. That's why I'm here, to go back to your first question, for 19 years, is because I have a beautiful group of board members and community people that elevate me, that believe in me. They're busy doing their job. They're volunteers, they're board members, but they believe in the mission of this organization. They believe in us and our team, and they just let us go out and do goodness and do no harm. We don't want to harm anybody. We're just trying to do goodness.
Gina, your desire to serve, is this something that you gained from a parent, from a mentor? Is it something that evolved over the years? Were you born with it? What would you attribute your servant, more selfless approach to life?
It's definitely my family. I don't know how much we're born with or without. I keep trying to seek that, but I will tell you, I'm was born in a very, lived in a very small town. I always say I'm Texan because I've been here almost my whole life. Was born in a small town in Arkansas. And my grandmother immigrated over from Italy. She was from Genoa. And we lived in a small town. And what I always say is my family, my grandmother, my grandfather, all my little aunties that surrounded and protected, and my mother and father, they never told me to volunteer. They never did. I watched them. And through their lives, my little sweet grandmother, who we didn't have a lot of money, I always thought we were so wealthy. And I always tell that when I'm speaking to people, the way I was raised, I just thought we had everything. And we did, because we had love, and our family gave, and they took care of people around them. My little grandmother, Minnie, for Thanksgiving, in her little small tiny little house that we would all gather and go to, the first thing, our tradition for Thanksgiving, hers, is we made meals. She had a list from her little church, and go through, we only had 632 people. It's not hard to keep up with people. Who was alone, who was struggling, were the widowers, the widows. My grandmother made a list, and before our family ate, the tradition, and you had to grow into where you could drive and do drop-offs. From my first memories, is we prepared the meals, we covered them, and took them. My grandmother was literally Meals on Wheels before it probably even, it was not in ours. We fed the community, and what was left, we ate. I watched this my entire life. And guess what? God always provided. We had gardens, our gardens flourished, the turkey, the ham, and I just thought, we're just so cool. We had polenta. I thought, oh my gosh, we're so cool. We're the only ones. My friends would come over. It was polenta nights, because I didn't realize that was a poor man's food. Now it's chic.
Yeah, it
and
is.
amazing. She would be in there doing it. I would sit on a stool, climb up a stool, and start giving hearts. It's all I've ever known. My father, until the day he died, he mowed lawns. He worked for Arkansas, Oklahoma Gas. He would mow everyone's yard. He was taking care of people. We were doing stuff. I was in FFA and 4A, all those things. But my mother, her entire life, God bless her, was helping people fight. She worked for Whirlpool, fought for people, fought for their voices, saw no differences, saw no color. We weren't in a community where there were lots of color. I had no idea. My daughter knows no color, no boundaries, no nothing, because she got what I was given.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it was family, it was faith, but I watched my brother too. It's just like that. He works at the Sea Star base, Galveston. We just watched our family give and give and give, and it's just why we're here. It's our purpose of this life is to just give and
To
make it
give. We
better.
need to get back to that. We become very self-possessed, and I mean, you look at just the road rage is such an indication of, you don't do that to me. You
No.
don't do that to me. We show no grace. People make mistakes on the road all the time. And you look at these little kids have been shot. Maybe mom and dad by mistake cut someone off.
Whatever.
They're
I
talking
watched
to the
this.
kids, and there's no grace. And
No.
it's if I listen to you and I think, what a beautiful childhood. What a beautiful
Oh,
childhood.
I wouldn't check. We had not really, we had everything. I mean, we played sports. I look around and I thought, oh my God, we're just so lucky. And then I know what my parents sacrificed, but I
Yeah,
mean, I just couldn't love them enough, thank them enough for what they did for my brother and I. Our whole lives, they showed us
that's
how
beautiful.
to just walk our journey. We never judged. The word hate wasn't ever allowed in our home. We couldn't say they're stupid. We hate that. It just wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, we
You know,
shouldn't do it.
I know
It was
Jenna's going to
not
be amazing.
allowed.
Gina, I know Jenna's going to be amazing, but I think I would love to hear your story.
Oh,
You grew up so beautiful and giving, and you had a totally different path and I know she struggled because she was in the limelight, but your story, if we could get back to your story, is so much more relatable that I'm
oh,
glad I asked you, because that is the essence. I mean, Mattress Mac always says that the essence of living is giving. And
it-
truly, when you've got a lot to give, it's easy. But when you don't have a
when
lot
you
to give
don't.
and you give, that's amazing.
When I would watch the food, but I just, anyway, I could talk about that forever, and maybe I should.
You
I mean,
should
my
take,
grandmother,
you should do a Thanksgiving story, even a book, your Thanksgiving story, because
because it could be
I'm
Grandma
just thinking of,
Minnie.
thinking of doing that with my family. You gave
Yes.
ideas of what we as families could do. And I know a lot of people volunteer on Thanksgiving, but the fact that no one could eat until people in your
Oh,
community
no.
have
We're
gotten their
fed.
food. Yeah, I love
The
that.
people that needed it the most. My grandmother had to live, when the Italians got there too, they lived across the railroad track. They weren't really welcomed as much even back then. And I said, God, Grandma, how did that feel? Like, and this is an example of me saying, gosh, did you hate them? Like they weren't nice to you? And she goes, oh no, we don't hate. It just took them time to get to know me. They just had to get to the lines at her funeral were wrapped throughout the little Catholic church. She was so beloved, and so still there's things up about her. And I'm just so grateful. But yeah, I think we've lost a lot of that. I feel like you came from that. I think a lot of us did. And we forget our stories. Maybe we get so caught up in everybody else's story is so good. There's a lot of great, great stories. But that's what we do. It's just a lifetime of giving and loving that. And I think trying to figure out our purpose, that's what I tell kids when we're mentoring through Lemonade Day. I'll say, what's your dream? And a lot of our kids, I'll say, raise your hand. Tell me what your dream. There's kids that don't raise their hands. They don't have a
Don't
dream.
have a dream.
And when they've been told, you're nothing, was one of the kids, you're nothing, you're this, you're never going to do anything. You're not, you begin to believe that. And I remember I was asking one of the young men who said, I can't do it. My dad said I was, bad word, piece of, and you're never doing anything. And I said, what do you believe in? And I don't care what religion or whatever, and maybe he would have said, I don't have any faith. I don't even know what you're talking about. But this young man said, I believe in God. Nana takes me to church and I believe in God. And I said, well, Miss Spagnola does too. And what Miss Spagnola knows is we don't serve a God that makes pieces of, which is what his dad had told him he was. We don't serve that God. So you have things that Miss Spagnola doesn't even have. You have gifts and talents and things that I'll never be able to do. No one in his life so far at 12 years old had ever told him that.
That's amazing.
That's what I want to do. I want to take and help people that are in that place, because although I was in that small town, I had all that love and everything. I had voices saying, you can do whatever you want to do. My mother saying, one day you need to move to Hawaii, because I always wanted to move to Hawaii because my aunt, and I did. And I did. I lived
That's
2 years in
amazing.
Hawaii. You're going to live in Hawaii. They spoke it into me.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because you're here, you're going to live in a big city. You're going to do great things. You're so smart. You're so that. But think of the kids that don't hear that. Think of the women that leave their home and whatever, whoever, spouse, a partner, whatever, or just the people every day that don't hear I love you, or you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, you're so, that would change. Instead, people sometimes leave homes and things that they've come through some stuff.
They're going to come to your conference and it will be,
It's going to be so good.
You were put into this place. There's no doubt about it, to help that person that needed to hear these words. And you know it's going to happen. And it's just going to be an amazing event. And hearing your story, though, I always want to, when someone is doing such a selfless, and I know this is a lot of work, you're going to be exhausted the day this is over. I always like, what do? Do you just go home and eat ice cream all day and stay in bed?
I'm so wound up. Actually,
I know. I've
like,
watched you ladies.
You know, I drive up to the Astros and I come back, people like, are you worn out? I said,
yes.
Oh God, no, on a win, I'm pumped out. Like I can't go to sleep. So it's the same thing with the.
How can people find out, like where can people go to find out about you, the chamber, and more importantly, this conference coming up next month?
Yes, they can go to the Galveston, our website, which is the Galveston Chamber of Commerce.com. And they can call 409-763-5326 to get more information. The website's a great place. It'll take you straight to the women's conference website. It's just gonna show you some wonderful videos of the past and things like that. And would encourage you, everyone listening, you know, if you're thinking about this, this is one of the things I like to end with is women feel so guilty, we find, to even go to a conference. We talk about this all the time. I was just at a clay shoot with a bunch of men, and I said, you guys are so easy because they just feel like they deserve it, man.
They just go.
They will go and they're networking and they're getting business and they'll go hunt. They're going to go on week hunts and they're golf and all that. Women tend to, not all women, feel guilty. Yeah. Like, how long's the conference? 7:30 to 5? I don't know if I can do. You can do it.
You can do it.
Take time for yourself. Gift this to yourself. We buy so many things. We eat out. We spend lots of money on coffee and all the things. Gift yourself this day. If you know someone that needs this, give them that.
That's
we all have idea. So many things. We have enough things. Gift them a ticket. Gift mom a ticket. Someone that's hurting a ticket. Someone that you know will be lifted up and that needs to hear. I'm going to tell you, if you have that on your heart, there's something that they need to hear there. So just gift them a ticket.
Oh, that's
it will be well worth it.
That's beautiful.
Shop and dance, and they're going to love the speakers that are there this year. So
excellent. You're just a delight, and thank you.
Thank you
for all you do. And again, you go to our contest page as well. We're going to put a couple of tickets in there that you can register to win at sunny99.com. Gina, it was so good to talk with you.
You have inspired me today.
Got to get those young ladies on board.
Yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and you call me anytime. I'm there for you. And any excuse to come out to Galveston, I'm in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Gina, thank you. Thanks for all you do.